The Brainstem by Angela Smothers. Hi, my name is Angela. An interesting fact about this picture is that it actually took me a while to find. Most of my pictures are definitely not of me by myself. They are with my kids or my husband or just family in general. So here is just me. Let this mind be in you, which was also in Christ Jesus. Philippians 2 and 5. The brainstem is made up of three parts: the midbrain, the pons, and the medulla oblongata. It houses many control centers for vital body functions such as swallowing, breathing, and vasomotor control. I would like to first begin by discussing the midbrain. Here it is pictured in green. It is also known as the mesencephalon. As you can see from the picture, the midbrain is the closest to the top of the brainstem, and it is connected to the diencephalon. The midbrain is neural tissue that contains nuclei, tracts, nerves, and other features. The midbrain is actually the smallest of the three regions of the brainstem, measuring approximately 2 centimeters in length. The three regions of the midbrain are the tectum, the tegmentum, and the ventral tegmentum. The midbrain also is the location of cranial nerves except those associated with olfaction and vision. These nerves provide motor and sensory functions to structures of the cranium, such as facial muscles, tongue, pharynx, and larynx, along with supplying the senses of taste, equilibrium, and hearing. The pons, pictured here in blue, is also known as Varalli's bridge. It is actually the largest part of the brainstem, and it is given its name from the Italian anatomist Costanzo Varolio, and the word pon is actually Latin for bridge. The pons is inferior to the midbrain, it is superior to the medulla oblongata, and it is anterior to the cerebellum. It measures about 2.5 centimeters long. It is also comprised of nuclei that transmit signals from the forebrain to the cerebellum, hence the reason they consider it to be a bridge. It also is accompanied by nuclei that deal with sleep, respiration, swallowing, bladder control, hearing, taste, equilibrium, eye movement, facial expression and sensation, as well as posture. So the pons has a lot to do with many of our functions. The last region of the brainstem is the medulla oblongata. It is an elongated section of neural tissue that connects the brain and the spinal cord, and it forms part of the central nervous system. It is important for the control of cardiovascular and respiratory functions. The medulla oblongata, sometimes simply just called the medulla, is very similar in structure to the spinal cord. It is a cone-shaped organ, which is about 3 centimeters in length by about 2 centimeters in width, going around the largest width. It is adapted for autonomic functions ranging from vomiting to sneezing. Some of these functions include breathing, heart rate, and blood pressure. Although some specific functions have already been discussed relating to each region of the brainstem, I thought it was important to note just the major overall functions of the brainstem as well as some general information. The brainstem houses cranial nerves 3 through 12. It's a link between the spinal cord and the higher centers in the brain, and it also houses reflex centers. The brainstem functions are involved in respiratory control, cardiovascular system control, pain sensitivity control, alertness, awareness, and consciousness. The brainstem actually helps to control so many functions in the body, such as breathing, blood pressure control, alertness, arousal, digestion, heart rate, and many other autonomic functions. Brain lesions are abnormal tissue in or on the brain. Brain lesions are actually a major cause of many of the pathologies related to the brainstem. Headache, personality changes, nausea, and vomiting are signs of a possible lesion. There are many different types of lesions as well as diseases associated with them. Here are just a few. You have malignant, which can lead to a glioma, infectious, which leads to meningitis, immune, which leads to multiple sclerosis, plaques, which leads to a very common Alzheimer's disease, genetic, which leads to neurofibromatosis, and then you have brain cell death or malfunction, which is the leading cause in Parkinson's disease. Matthew 22:37 says, Jesus said unto them, Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind. For God hath not given us the spirit of fear, but of power, and of love, and of a sound mind. 2 Timothy 1:7. Here listed are the various references used to gain the information needed for this presentation. Thank you so very much.